Hello and good evening. Thank you so much for joining me. It is Thursday, the 16th of May 2024. My name's Jenny McCormack. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire, and that's here in the UK. Thank you for joining me. If you caught up with us from our live crafting session earlier this week on Monday, you will have seen me use the Fields in Bloom stamp set. Oh, sorry about the reflection. Okay, there we go. The image, as I said on Monday, is much larger than the image you see on the outside of the case. And this was the card that I made during the live on Monday. This one here in the Pretty in Pink colour, which I've used for the flowers, and I used Old Olive, I think, for the greenery, and a little bit of Balmy Blue for the sky. So what I wanted to show you is the additional cards that I've made during the week, and then I've challenged myself to make a card this evening without using the Stampin' Write stamping platform, just to show you that it's easy to recreate without requiring any additional tools. So let me turn my volume down. So hi Caroline, I'm feeling absolutely fine. Thank you so much. All is good. So let me just show you these additional cards that I've made. So this is such an easy stamp set to use. I have used some birds from a retired stamp set, and I'm desperately trying to think what it was, and for the life of me I can't remember. It wasn't Ocean Front, but it'll come to me. And a sentiment actually from the balloon set. And so I've stamped a mast off the top of the field here and added in a sun, just using a post-it note punched out as a stencil. So this colour here is Peach Pie and a little bit of Daffodil Delight. This one here is in the purples. Now I have adjusted my camera, so I'm hoping it's a better view than it was previously. I think I'd moved it and then the angle was wrong, so hopefully this is a little bit better. I have also added these tiny little trees. Now actually in the stamp set, which is here, Delicate Forests, they're not really trees, they're sort of shrubs, but I thought as a distance it looked quite effective. This is Gorgeous Grape and Highland Heather. This one is in Poppy Parade, and I wanted it to look like a field of poppies. And then I added a sun, and then I've just used my blending brush going across left to right on here, like that. Create a little bit of a sunset look. Hi Carol, good evening to you. And then this one here, I've used Pretty in Pink and Petunia Pop, or it might even be Berry Burst actually, because that's the colour of the card underneath. And then the clouds actually come with the stamp set as well. So my challenge this evening is I thought this would look lovely as a slimline card with 3 or more sets of those flowers. So I don't know if you can see here, on the right hand side that's the stamps as they come, and on the left hand side what I've done is I've masked off this area on the right and added another layer of flowers. So I thought what I'd do with a slimline card, which is basically a third of an A4, is recreate the same sort of thing. So let's give that a go, and I'm going to do this without the Stamparatus just to show you that you can do it individually. First thing I'm going to do is stamp this top element here. I could stamp both actually, so that I can mask this area off. So I've just got a nice large post-it note, which is perfect because it will cover that whole area. And let's just choose, I've got Berry Burst to hand, and I just need the stamp. I can get it out, there we go. So these are the flowers, that's the one I want, and then this is the greenery. And I have 3 of these blocks, and of course I can only find one. So it's a bit annoying because I'll have to keep switching over, but I'm sure you'll bear with me. So just laying that stamp on there, just going to ink this up. Hi Nicole, good evening, I hope you're well. Nicole is in the Netherlands, so they are, I believe, an hour ahead of us, so it's just after 8 p.m. for her. Okay, so make sure I've got the sticky side at the top, which is what I want to use to cover up and hold this down. So I'm just going to stamp that at the top of my post-it note, like so. And then I'm going to cut along that line, just with a pair of snips. Let's see if I've got my other set to hand. So of course it's Friday tomorrow, just busy. So I'm going to cut this along the line of the hill, like so. And this is going to be wider than I need anyway. This measurement here is 9 centimeters across, and I've cut my card, base card, 10 centimeters. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the bottom. I do need a piece of paper though to tuck underneath. That will do. Like so. And I can position this on here, hoping you can see that. Let me lift that up a little bit. There we go. Let me move these out of the way. So I'm going to stamp my first set of greenery and flowers. So this is the greenery with all the holes in, and then the flowers drop into those holes. So I'm going to have to switch between blocks. When I have a good tidy up, I will find, I've got 3 of those altogether. So, okay, so, and I might use different greens, I'm not sure. I've got Old Olive to hand, so I'm going to start with that. Oh, hi Claire. Thanks for joining us. If you're still watching, I know sometimes people just watch in passing and then stop. So just inking this up, and I'm going to stamp it right at the bottom of my card. And what I'm actually going to do is, because this is wider than my card, I'm going to start with it further over to the left, so that when I do the next layer I can have it a little bit further to the right without going over. So I'm going to make sure this goes off the bottom as well. Like so. And I don't really want a gap on the side, but if I ended up with a gap I could just trim it down. Okay, so that's my first layer. Now I'm going to add my flowers. Just going to wipe that, otherwise I'm going to end up completely covered in ink. So obviously you really want to be able to do this with more than one block, but there we go. Okay, so my image then is going to go in here. Those large flowers are going to fit in all of those holes. Hopefully you can see that okay. I'm going to start with Berry Burst, but I'm going to change the colours as we go along. Like so. Okay. And I'm just going to position those in the gaps. There's a little bit of leeway to play with, so if it's not exact, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so nice amount of pressure all the way over. There we go. So pretty. There's that one there. So what I'm going to do now is clean that off, and I'm going to use my post-it note mask. Obviously if you've got masking paper you could use that. So I'm just going to cover this up, but with a very slight amount showing, because I don't really want a gap between my two layers. I want it to sort of flow through like I have here. Oh, not in that one. I'll put it to one side. Da-da-da-da. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I don't want a gap between these two, and if you can see that that's the sort of bottom point, and then on this one it's a little bit further over, so it's not exact. So here we go again. So I'm going to start with the greenery again. And I can choose how much I want that to show. So I could just have a small amount. I can move it all the way over to the right, keep it over to the left, or I can have a larger amount. Bear in mind the size of the flowers is bigger at the front, obviously. So I think I'm going to go a little way up, but have this further over to the right. And I'm going to stick with the same greenery, but you don't have to. You could change the colours of the greens. Okay, just making sure that is well inked, and I'm inking the whole stamp even though I know I'm covering some of it up. I'm going to have this over to the right hand side, as I say, with a little bit of an overlap, like so. Obviously you are limited to the width, and there's only so far you can go over without losing the edge, but if you wanted to, you could line up this edge with the next one and have a wider base if you wanted. So you could stamp, you know, another layer there. Okay. So I'm going to change pink. So that was Berry Burst. And now I'm going to go Petunia Pop, and then I'm going to have a third one which will be Pretty in Pink. So I need to swap that for flowers. And if you're on a Stamparatus, you can leave them in place on the Stamparatus and just move your paper down. You don't have to reposition it each time. Okay. So, Petunia Pink. And again, even though I know I'm not using the whole stamp, I do, unless it's really obvious, ink up the whole stamp. Because if you've turned it around by mistake, you might just ink up the bottom instead of the top, and vice versa. Okay, so all I need to do now is position these again in those gaps. I've left my post-it note there, so I know it's still going to cover the flowers underneath. And I'm just taking my time to get that hopefully fairly well positioned. So a nice amount of pressure, especially where I'm going over the post-it note. Okay, so I lift that off. There we are. You can see the effect, hopefully. Those colours are very similar. My Petunia Pop is brand new. My Berry Burst is a little bit, well, it's at least 2 years old, if not 3. And therefore they actually look very similar. So I'm going to do another layer, but with the Pretty in Pink. So I can actually leave this one on here, because the only reason I started with the greenery is that is at the bottom of the stamped image. Because I'm just stamping and cutting a bit off, I can start it further up. So exactly the same technique, putting my post-it note on just to cover, but leave this just a tiny edge that you can see. And so what I'm going to do is shuffle this again back over to the left, so I've got a different angle. So I hope everybody's had a good day and is having a good week. The weather has been a little bit variable today, but actually has turned out alright. So this is returning colour, Pretty in Pink, and then I've got Petunia Pop and Berry Burst as my other colours. Obviously you could completely change colours as well if you wanted to. Okay, make sure I've got this going the right way, and I'm just going to maybe have a little bit less, so it's not too, I don't want it too obviously repetitive. Okay, so there's that bit, and then finally my line of greenery. And I might just change my green for a different one, she says. I've got granny apple green. That'll do nicely. Just as a contrast to the others, really. Okay. So this is the greenery, that's the one with all the holes. And looks like I probably need to refill this, but plenty of light tapping, and also having the block on my table means I can see a bit more clearly how much ink is going on to there. I hope this position is better for everybody. Okay, so I need to do the same thing. Okay. No, I don't. I was right where I was. Sorry, folks. Okay. Because we're just filling in the greenery. And so this is a little bit more tricky because I have chosen, there it is. So I'm just looking through the gaps, and I'm a little way off being able to look straight over this because I have a camera right up above where I'm stamping. So, but hopefully you'll get the effect that I'm looking for, which is that. so pretty. I wished I'd chosen a different, more contrast of colours. You know, I could have had yellow or something, but hey ho, so be it. Right, let me cover this one up. So I'm going to add a little bit of blue ink on Adorba across the sky, and I might put a ribbon around the bottom maybe. Okay, I think I need some more blue, so I'm going to use Balmy Blue. Oh, it's raining in Netherlands. Oh, Nicole, I'm so sorry to hear that. We had a little bit of rain earlier, but I'm guessing it's probably on its way to us at some point again. Because I think it's coming up from the south and east. Okay, so I'm just using, hopefully not rocking the camera too much, a little bit of Balmy Blue ink on our blending brush. And if you have been following me for a little while, you'll know that I don't clean my brushes off. I do occasionally, but it means there's enough ink on there usually for just a nice overall colour if I need it. If you can see that blue, I'll do a little bit more. It always looks much more faded in the camera than it does in real life. I am quite a subtle crafter, so I don't tend to use very bold, bright colours. There we go. Okay. I'm deliberately leaving some white space in the middle. Hopefully you can see that, to make it a little bit more effective, rather than just blue all the way over. Okay. I think I might use those little birds again. Oops. Just have them on one side, and if I can see a smoky slate or grey granite, I'm just going to do them in a soft colour, because that looked really good when the girls did it on Tuesday. Of course I can't find any of those, because oh, there's one. Okay, smoky slate. Everything is packed ready for coffee and card tomorrow, so that's why. I do apologise. Okay, let's just want them lightly in the distance. They're not the focal point really. Just put them there, like that. If you can see that. There we are. And I need to put a sentiment on there. What do I have just to hand? So I have got Delicate Forest. So I've got Stay Strong, My Friend, You'll Get Through This. That would work on there. Hope Each Passing Day Lets In a Little More Sunshine. Well, if I had sun on there, that would work. Or Sending Our Love. Quite fancy something, maybe slightly scripty. Let me see. So I've got Thinking of You from Layering Leaves. Hope you're feeling better. So proud. Oh, decisions. I'm just looking to see if I've got Sweetly scripted to hand. No, if it is, it's buried. So let me have a look. Best of luck. Maybe just a nice happy birthday. Hello, Teresa. Yeah, that will work. So I've got a choice really with this. Let's turn this over. Whether I put my happy birthday up here or whether I put it on a die cut down here at the bottom with some ribbon round it. What do we think? Just seeing what dies I might have to hand. Nothing obvious. What do we think? Up at the top or balance it down here? Yes, Caroline says at the bottom. I think so. Otherwise it's all a bit happening up there and then nothing here. I'm looking for my little packet of die cuts. So I have a stitched circle, but that would just fit on. That would work, I think, with that, and then maybe some ribbon underneath. See what other shapes I've got that really would, I want them to fit in with that, with the scale really. That's too big. This is the same. That one's too big. I don't want to cover up my artwork. So I think that circle will work. So let us stamp that. And I'm pretty sure I used Berry Burst to start with. So let's just swap that over. Okay, just going to ink this up. And my recommendation is, if you want to know if it's going to fit, is just try stamping on the back. And then you'll know whether it's going to fit or not, and that's fine. I'm happy with that. So turning it over some on the right side so the stitches look the right way around. Okay, so there I've got Happy Birthday. It's going to go here. That's the bottom. And I think, not that I've got much space, I'm going to put that little sort of the top of those flowers in there. They really are tiny. Because if I put it a little bit higher, I would have had a little bit more space. But let's just add this in. So I'm going to put the top of the flowers in first. And let's use a contrast Pretty in Pink. Hi Trudy. I hope you're well. I have your stamp set for you. The Sweetly scripted one. Okay. Yes, that's the right colour. But to think about that for a minute. Just want to see. Yes, that'd be fine. So I'm just putting the very top of that flower in, and here's the greenery. There we go. Going to be the tiniest bit actually on there. This is just the tip. You can hardly see it, can you? But I know it's there. Okay. So I'm actually going to stamp the clouds just to balance this out. Just going to stamp the clouds in balmy blue on the balmy blue area that I've got. The clouds are in the same set, this one here, so you've also got a little bird which is like a hummingbird really. So I'm just going to add those just to balance that scene out altogether, and the clouds stamp with the darkest area underneath, so I'll stamp it here to show you. She says covered in greenery. So I don't know if you can see that. Lift that up a little bit. So the dark is underneath because that's the shadow away from the sun. It's a little bit dark still, so what I'm going to do is stamp it, ink it up, stamp it once, and then stamp it onto my piece. Just in there. Just want it really light, as you can see there. Hopefully. There we go. Right, so this is going to go onto, I've got a Mossy Meadow card because I want it to be quite dark so that it makes that pop, and I didn't want it too close to the pinks, otherwise I would have chosen one of the pink colours, but I think that makes it pop out nicely. I could put a layer in between the two, and then let me just see what ribbon I've got. I have got some, this is the Pretty in Pink ribbon here, but I'll just see if I've got, I know I've got some petunia ribbon. Just see what I've got here though, only because my petunia ribbon's in the other room, so I think I'll get away with that. Yeah, I don't actually know if I need the ribbon now. I'm not sure I do. Okay, what do we think? Are we happy with it as is? Because I can add a few gems. I've got the coordinating Petunia Pop and Pretty in Pink gems, so I think actually that's going to be fine as it is. Don't really want to cover anything else up. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm going to pop this down. Just going to put this flat because it's quite a big panel. As I said, it could have a layer between this and the card if you wanted to. I've given it a centimetre border, well, centimetre difference, which means half a centimetre along each of those edges. Okay. and that one I can pop on with dimensionals, which are just here. And I just found the sweetly scripted sentiments, never mind. This will work fine. So this is the back where I did my practicing. Let's just pop another one on there. And that's going to go down here. And then that will be done. I have got another layer for the inside, so let's put this on here. Let's get it straight, like so. And then I've got this panel here, so I could use the top part of this stamp across the bottom of there. I think that would look really pretty. So let's do the greenery first. I find that is the easiest. I'll just use Granny Apple Green as it's here. The other colour I used was Old Olive. But really any green that you've got will do the job. Okay, so it's going to go, let's have it just a little way up, like so. And if you wanted to, you could stamp this off first, or just use a very pale green, like soft sea foam, if you wished. Okay, and then the last little bit is just to change that out and put the flowers in. And I think I will use Berry Burst as it's just there. And we're done. There we go. So it's very, very easy to recreate. So I did just stamp the 2 layers first and then masked off the 2 pieces with a piece of post-it note that I'd stamped on to get the approximate line. There we go. There we are. I could put may all your wishes come true or celebrate on the inside. Let's just see. May all your wishes come true. And I'll just stamp that also in Berry Burst, I think. And we're done. So this stamp set is in the new annual catalogue. It's tucked towards the back, which is why a few people have said to me they hadn't seen it. I've got ink all over that. Let's put that on there. May all your wishes come true. Like so. And maybe I will put a little bit of cloud at the top. There we go. So that's our inside piece. Move this out of the way. There's our front. So this is slimline card, so this measures 10 centimeters by 21. I have to think about that for a minute. And there we go, that's going to go on the inside. find my glue, and we're done. Oh, I'm going to add a few gems. So make sure I haven't turned that card around by mistake. That's it. And here are my gems. So this is Pretty in Pink, and this is Petunia Pop even. I think I'm just going to put a couple on there, and they come in small and large. So I'm going to do a small one of those. Actually, I'm going to do 3 small ones. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Could have put it on the flowers, but I'm happy with it. And there we are. That is all done. So I'm really pleased with that. With the fields, I think I could have done with a better contrast between these two. So yellow, purple, pink, for example. But I'm happy with the overall design. It worked out. I had the idea in my mind, and it worked out. That is the inside. The last thing I want to show you just very quickly, because when I saw Caroline, I did say I would challenge myself to add this in lots of different colours. So just very quickly I'm going to grab a piece of card. I won't make the whole card up because we're well in time really. So let's just grab this. I'm going to stamp the greenery, and then I'm going to use our Stampin Write markers for colouring this element in. They do work best on red rubber, there's no doubt about it, but they will work on photopolymer. It's even better if you can put them on a stamping platform, because then you can just you know, keep re-inking and applying. But just to show you the idea, just going to stamp this first in Granny Apple Green. It doesn't really matter which green I've used. For a sympathy card, this would actually look nice in brown and yellow. So when I do my craft session tomorrow at Coffee and Card, I might try that with brown here and then just yellow or very pale blue flowers. So I'm just going to stamp that onto there. Like that. That's my little outline. I still need the block though. Just peel that off. I'll be glad when I find all my other blocks. So I'm just going to grab some of these Stampin' Write markers. I don't really need the greys. So these are water-based inks, so they are similar inks to the ones that are in the ink pad, and you can use them for small elements of colouring, but you wouldn't use them to colour a large area. And so what I'm going to do is fairly quickly is colour some of these in. Now this is not going to be as bright as if you were using the ink itself. Just going to use this. So this is Poppy Parade. So I'm just going to have those ones in Poppy Parade, like so. And then let's see, I've got, this is an old one, Mango Melody. So let's do these distant ones in Mango Melody. So like our blends pens, you have a wide marker and a narrow tip. So if you're using them on stamps, you want to really use this one on its side, because then you've got better coverage. Obviously this has got lots of little elements to this stamp. And they are going to dry on here slightly, but I'm going to huff on this to add a little bit of that moisture back. Right, let's see, this is Lost Lagoon. Let's just do some of these. I know you can't see much of what's being applied. I will lift it up to the screen so you can see, but it's quite light all the same. Hello Valerie. Hello Barbara. I hope you are both well. Thank you so much for joining us. I am just wrapping up with a few little, with just an idea that I promised I would try out. That's those. And let's see, I've got this one here. Rich Raspberry. There's a good old popular colour that retired last year. Or even, no, it was last year. I think it was the year before or not. Right, just going over a few of these other little ones. Let's do just a few of those. Okay. I think they're mostly done. So you can see some of the colour that's been applied to those, like that. So I'm just going to huff, breathe on it, and that would just apply a little bit of moisture. And then I'm going to position these in my gaps. Just taking time. As I said, it's very generous in terms of the fit of the flowers, so if you are slightly off, it's not the end of the world. Hi Baz. Oh yes, there we go. That's so cute. Should have tried that before. Now I can see, if I look at that I've got some gaps here that I didn't colour in. So what I can do is just add a bit of colour to those and re-stamp them. Hi Babsy. So it's these ones here in the middle. So let's do, what have I got here? Blackberry Bliss will do. Just want to pick out those extra ones there. Obviously you can see this colour being applied, it's a little bit more obvious, isn't it? Work out which one it is now. And there's one down there that I missed as well, here. Which I think is that one. So obviously if you've got a stamping platform, this is even easier because you don't have to reline it up, but I just wanted to show that it does work with multiple colours. And so I'm just going to reposition this. I haven't cleaned the rest of it off. Just taking my time to line it up, hopefully. Give or take a millimetre or two. There we go. Very cute. Hopefully you can see that. Let me put my glasses on, see what you can see. There we go. So if I just lift that up a little bit more, it really does look like, you know, a sort of wildflower meadow, doesn't it? Like so. So what I might do is, having got this far, just going to add, you could do another layer again exactly as I did before, but you can pop back and see that. So all I'm going to do is just a little bit of blue here for my clouds in the sky, and hopefully I might have got a green one that I can just put across the top, or a little bit of yellow. I had a yellow one, didn't I? Because I did that little sunset. Let's see what colour this is. Oh, that's perfect, sort of yellowy pinky. So I'm just going to take this over that edge. It's very, very light. I can see it. I'm not sure whether you can, but it just gives the effect of it sort of into the haze of the sun. If you can see that. Does that show a little bit maybe? There we go. Cute. And you could go all over that with some different colours as well. And then let's add, while I'm here, let's pop those birds on and the clouds and the birds. There's the clouds. And I've got smoky slate. Oh, I don't really want grey clouds. I've decided. Okay, let's move this out of the way. So remember, the dark element of the clouds will go at the bottom. So I'm inking that up, stamping it off first, and then I don't want them as a focal point. There we go. I'll just stamp it off again. And just have a little bit up there, like so. Grab those birds. And I use smoky slate on this one here, up at the top. You can see that? Because I don't want them to attract the whole attention. So I'll use the same. Normally I would use smoky slate, night of navy or espresso, grey granite, any of those. Just put those in that little gap, like so. There we are. And now all I need is a sentiment to go in there. May all your wishes come true. Or, what's that say? Just a note to lift you up. Or I could just do it as another happy birthday, she says. I wasn't going to finish this card. I am just going to finish the front panel and then I will layer it up and photograph it. See what I've done with the happy birthday. I've buried it somewhere, haven't I? I have. So I will find that stamp, which I had not 5 minutes ago, and finish that card off. But that was my challenge from Caroline. Thank you, Caroline. To show you how you can change, add lots of colours to that. That's using the Stampin Write markers. You can't use our blends pens, our alcohol markers, because the alcohol dries and it wouldn't allow the ink to remain on the stamp. But you could certainly easily do that on a Stamparatus or stamp positioning tool, but I just did it freehand, stamped it, and then added colour where I'd missed it, and then re-stamped it again. So it's still quite possible. Okay, so thank you everybody. For some reason the comments haven't come up on my phone, but I can see now that you have been commenting. I do apologise. So thank you very much for joining me. Let me put our finished. This was my designed card. That's what I had in mind for this evening, and that's your bonus card, which I will layer up probably onto some pink, and then finish that off with the sentiment when I find my stamp. And that is it. So thank you so much. I do have a kit to show you, and I had planned to do it before this evening, but I've just run out of time this week. So if I have an opportunity, I will try and do it tomorrow evening, Friday, probably around 7 o'clock. So if you're around and you see me go live, that's what I'll be showing you. But in the meantime, I hope you like the finished card. The stamp set is called Fields in Bloom. You can find it in the in the annual catalogue starting 2024. And I'm just going to find one to show you what page number it's on. Bear with me 1 second. I want to say 95, but it isn't. That's the grid paper. Let me look it up. So the index is really useful for this purpose. It's a separate index for the designer series paper, the punches and the stamps, as well as the dies. And this is Fields in Bloom 85. I wasn't far off, was I? Okay, so page 85. That is the stamp set, Fields in Bloom. There's some samples here. And the price of the stamp set is £23. If anybody is interested, then just drop me a line or send me an email, and I can get that ordered for you. Thank you so much, everyone. Do take care, and I look forward to catching up with you all really, really soon. That's the inside of that first card. I just duplicated the first layer, if you like. I might try that again with multicoloured layers. I don't think I'm going to go that far, but maybe more contrasting would be a good plan. So thank you so much, everyone. Do take care. I've had enough, taken enough of your time this evening. Thank you so much. Look after yourselves and your loved ones. I look forward to crafting with you again really soon. Bye for now.